Everybody, welcome to the show. General Rush, good to see you, sir. And hey, everybody, Goose heading up there. Infinity, Dan, John, Major John, good to see you. Brian, Sergio, Logan, Larry, Donald, Logan, again. Good morning, everybody. If you want to chat with everybody, all you got to do, let's see, flip this over, click the button right over here in the corner, be a subscriber on the channel. A few seconds later, you can start chatting with everybody. And look at this, Apple announcing that they didn't build their own AI. That's kind of a not too cool. And Elon really flaming them out on X yesterday, saying that he may ban Apple devices if it's integrated into the OS, because what they announced was that they're going to partner with OpenAI and run ChatGPT on top of the integrated into iOS. So everything you say, everything, like your phone is always going to be listening. Like Siri is basically going to use OpenAI now. So everything is going to be recorded, sent over to OpenAI, which Apple can't control. They can't control your privacy. They can't control anything. And then OpenAI processes it and this, does whatever. I don't know. I do see Elon's point, and that was really not what I expected at all from Apple. I mean, it's kind of funny though when you think about it that Apple and Microsoft both using OpenAI. It's like the two biggest companies in the land. I mean, essentially, right there, Apple and Microsoft both using OpenAI instead of rolling their own. That's kind of, to me, that's interesting. Microsoft and Apple right there. And then, you can let me know what you think in the chat, but I don't know. It's definitely something. And speaking of AI, Rongamer in the chat there, he's planning something for those of you coming to the Termite Trading Lab group. He's going to bring one of the new self-driving vehicles that Tesla has with the newest software, and talk about slick. He took me for a ride last night after the scout meeting, and if you're coming to the in-person event, I highly recommend you talk to him about getting a test drive, because that was freaking slick stuff. He drove Kimberly and I around for a little bit, and that car pretty much drove itself from where we were at the scout meeting over to where we're going to have dinner on Wednesday. And it was pretty slick, pretty darn slick. Anyway, it's impressive what they're doing, and it's just getting better. Like, it doesn't even, he was saying, oh, this isn't even running the newest version. So Tesla self-driving stuff, if you've experienced it in the past, you don't understand what they've done with the newest versions here. It's definitely pretty slick and only going to get better. On the way home, Kimberly was like, when do you think it could drive me? I was like, oh, I'd say in the next 6 years, we'll probably see cars that could drive by themselves and it be commonly acceptable. So it's probably gonna change fast, whether you like it or not. Anyway, before we get into all of that, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation is intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument. If you desire personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor. All right, it's not what I do. So don't buy stocks, don't buy options, don't buy forex, don't buy futures, don't buy cryptos, don't buy bonds, don't buy treasuries, don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. And if you need help, you got to hire a financial advisor. It's not what I do. And don't buy stuff from gurus, right? Unless you trust them, make sure that you trust people doing this stuff. Don't just give people your money. All right. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Anyway, welcome everybody. So the other thing I found, I didn't put in the thumbnail. Let's pull this up and check it out here. How'd you like the thumbnail today? Pretty cool, huh? Right here. Look at this. Let's zoom it up so we can actually see it. So this is WTI. This is CL, basically. The oil I commonly look at. CL on the, I don't know what side that is for you. I'm going to say left side. This is my left side. CL right there. And Brent, which is European oil right there. And look at that. Look at that. Yeah. Pretty slick right there. That's CTAs, all right? That's algos. Even in the big down bearish flat market case, that's buying. Big up, small up, that's a lot of buying. Takes us back to May 24 highs potentially. And this is inflows, not price projections. This is inflow, money flow projections here for the algos. These are, well, so far we're on the path for oil, on the path going higher. Those algos may go back long is the projection. And these are just projection though, simulated flows based on what a lot of assumed conditions, because let's face it, the only people that know what the algo is programmed to actually do are the people that program the algo. So, but big banks and trading desks they spend a lot of time and effort trying to predict what the other algos are going to do so they can try to make money when they do this. And every now and then I get a hold of one of these reports. They're pretty darn slick. Pretty darn slick especially when they're right. I love it when they're right, but they're not wrong. I mean, some desks are more right than others. Bank of America is one of my preferred. This is not Bank of America's projections right here. I think this is Goldman Sachs, but yeah, pretty neat and predicted to go higher. So watch out for oil for the next little bit. Although this doesn't take us necessarily, it doesn't create a breakout, but it could. So it just depends on how everything unfolds. So that's both CL and Brent, both projected to go higher. All right. I didn't mean to imply that Rungamer just like hands off. He had his hands hovering on the steering wheel and all that stuff. Anyway, and it like bothered. And I was like, "Were you touching that?" He goes, "Yeah, it flashed up that I had to touch the steering wheel." So anyway, he had his hands right there. It's not like he was just like sitting back like this the whole time. So Apple, I don't know that. So what I was going to say about Apple here, look at this right here, and right here. Do we get another day or two and then another one of these? Maybe. So right there. Mostly still bullish. I don't know that, I think it was just a disappointment on the AI initiative, but the chart's bullish. All right. Basically holding flat overnight, although we did take a dip and a small dip, not a big dip, not like an earnings dip. I have to go down to smaller time frame, turn on the extended hours. You can see the dip right there and came right back. Dipped her down and right back up. So kind of flat on Apple. What do I think? I think their AI initiative was a disappointment, but that doesn't mean that we won't go higher from here. So, alrighty. Moving on. Let's go back and look at the S&P, where we've been, where we got to yesterday. That was pretty strong. Nice, strong close. In the zone. Do we take it higher? Entirely possible. We rally right on up to that 5450 area, possibly 5500 in that zone. NVIDIA could take us higher. NVIDIA is still rolling on hype, still trying to be the biggest company in the land. I don't know. Did the split yesterday? I'm not sure what that was, but I don't think it popped that high. Anybody remember that? I don't remember that giant spike in there yesterday, but yeah. Seems to be a price anomaly in there. And, well, sitting there at the ceiling. Sitting there. A lot of sellers came in when it popped above Apple's market cap a couple of days back. Got the split yesterday at like 4 a.m. A lot of people, heck, I've seen a lot of gurus saying how this is going up. Just think about it. Think about it. How is this going up? How would this double again? All right. Look at the value here. And I probably should refresh it just to make sure we got the current numbers. And popped up above Apple yesterday. So right there, $2.995 trillion. So for this thing to go from $120 a share, where we are right now, up to $240 a share, double. That takes $3 trillion right there. $3 trillion. Are you kidding me right now? That's a lot of money. That's a whole nother Microsoft. It's a whole nother NVIDIA, a whole nother Apple. Think about it. 10% of the US debt would have to flow in NVIDIA to take it that high. Even to just get, like, think about it. Think about it. At this point, law of big numbers. All right. Oh, not calendar, calculator. I clicked the wrong one there. Calculator. And I have to close the calendar that popped up on the other screen. So if we go from, if we add, say, $30, it's 25%, right? Go to 150, 25%. So 3 trillion times 1.25. Oops, 5, not 6. My mouse clicking's off. So that's, you're going to add $750 billion more dollars. $750 billion more dollars to go from $120 a share to $150 a share. Law of big numbers. That's $750 billion. It's got to flow into that. Oh, be careful. I mean, impossible? No, not impossible. But bubbly? Definitely bubbly if we go shooting up here. Way up here. 3.75 trillion with a T. Be careful. I'm not sure that's happening, but, you know, hey, seen other crazy stuff in the market before. I do think this is a bit like Icarus flying toward the sun. And did it go up too far, too fast? Maybe. We could definitely come back down. Would not be unreasonable. But look, just the last little baby correction, 66%-ish. This comes back down. I'm just warning you, all right? Like, I feel like it's prudent to warn you. 66, ish percent correction down to 40, 50 area. Please be careful. It's your money. Not my money. I'm not putting my money on this right now. That's a dangerous place to be going long. I was in down here when it was like $150 a share. Not up here. I've been staying away. Staying away. So anyway. ES overnight. Getting a little bit of correction. A little bit of a pullback. Not making a higher high yet. Still consolidating. That's kind of the price action we usually see before we get another pop. Remember, FOMC starts today, wraps up tomorrow. Jerome Powell coming in. We didn't even hit the highlights here this week. So we have CPI coming in hot tomorrow morning. Right there. Potential market mover. And then 2 p.m. Right there. Fed funds rate. FOMC statement. Right there. And then 2:30, Jerome Powell is going to speak. Do his press conference because he can't just not do it. You gotta get up there in front of everybody. So that's all coming in hot tomorrow. Volatile day. Remember, we have 30 minutes of awesome coming up at 5 p.m. today. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the alerts to get notified, or just pop up your phone and put it in the calendar. 5 p.m. Eastern. Do your math. That's 4 Central, 3 Mountain, 2 Pacific, and the rest of the world, I don't know. It's like something like 5 a.m. Hong Kong time. Anyway, Thursday, PPI coming in hot. We get the Tesla shareholder meeting also. Got some stuff coming down the pipe here. And then Friday, we get this consumer sentiment and inflation right there. See how that cooks. That's University of Michigan instead of whatever the other one is, ISM. I guess. So that's all going to be, this is a kind of a bigger news week for financial news, especially with the FOMC in there. Now, somebody last night left a comment on YouTube. It was like, hey, what do you think about the rate cuts? Like, don't you think they're going to surprise with a rate cut? And I have to say, good grief, there's a lot of alerts. That's what I have to say. Golly, man. All right. Thank you, alerts. I have to say, based on this chart right here, I would be very, very surprised if they cut rates back. You know, quarter point would put us right back in this zone right here. Be back to here. That's getting a little close. It's like danger close to the current market rate. DGS2, the current market rate. I don't think they want to go below the current market rate unless things deteriorate economically in this country. So right now we have the DGS2 rate right in here. We have the Fed funds rate right up here. And all the futures not predicting any rate cuts till September. And that's kind of what they've been signaling. Usually if they're going to do some sort of rate cut, Jerome Powell doesn't like to surprise the market with anything. He likes to signal everything nice and clear. We'd see a Wall Street Journal article out already about how they're going to cut rates and blah, 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 because he tells the guy that works at the Wall Street Journal how, you know, everything they're going to do before they do it. So what I see right now is hold steady right there. This may creep on up and actually surpass the Fed funds rate, in which point we would actually see rate raises instead of cuts. That would be the surprise. If I was gonna guess a surprise right now, I would guess a surprise rate bump instead of a rate cut. But the way this is not actually not threatening the Fed funds rate right now, I don't think they're going to do anything. I think they sit on it this month, possibly sit on it in July, unless the market does something crazy. And there you go. That's, if you've never seen this chart, DGS2, you can go to TradingView, tradingview.com, and you can open a free account. And you can see this without buying a single darn thing. You can go to tradingview.com, click basic free account, pop it up, go to super charts, type in Delta Golf Sierra 2, DGS2, pop that on there, then click this button right here next to, right up here at the top left. Click this button right here, compare symbols, add FED, FUNDS. That's Foxtrot Echo Delta, Foxtrot Uniform November Delta Sierra, Fed funds. Type that in, FED, FUNDS, and it draws this chart right here. So the market rate is the blue rate. The Fed always chases the market rate. If you didn't know that, look, they chased it all the way up till they crossed over. Now, every time we get across, usually that's like a countdown to a financial crisis, because we had one back here in the dot-com bust. We had one right here, great financial crisis. We had one right here, the rates freak out. If not nearly as bad, but it did culminate in the end of this was COVID. Funny enough, was COVID part of the whole correction? That's a mind bender right there. Look, right there. That was COVID, right? And it was already a financial crisis brewing. That's a mind bender for you. That's a mind bender for you. Like, what could be this one? What could be this one? We don't know. Is it going to happen from up here? Is it going to happen from here? Time's going to tell. This is, it's in the charts though. Why has JT been so cautious about the next big down? Because it's in the chart. It's already in the interest rates. I just don't know if we do it from here or we do it from up here. Something's gonna crack. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be another one of these. Could be this one could be worse. It could be a multi-decade. Could be 20 years, 30 years before we get back to all-time highs again after this one cracks. This one could be one of the worst ones we ever see. And we've got some alerts kicking off. Speaking of those alerts, check this out. I've been building this tool here. And look at this thing right here. Let's see. Will it refresh? Give me that fresh alert. Doesn't have it in there yet. Didn't quite make it. Anyway, yesterday, nice chunk of alerts right there. So let's see if I bet those were close orders. They just fired off. Now, those are 30. These are all 30-minute alerts right here. And here's some 1 hour alerts. So let's go look at Crocs real quick. Beautiful potential setup right there. Market roadmap, 60-minute chart. Right there. Came up. Is it going to turn down? Or is it going to find support and go higher? I don't know. It definitely fired off the entry right there. The target right up there, 160. Nice little trade. These usually last a few days into possibly a couple weeks. 40 candles is the standard on these setups right here. I didn't know that before. I came up with the pattern years and years ago and been trading it for a long time. And now that I've kind of automated this whole testing thing, I've been building this database of these trades. It doesn't matter the time frame. They all last on average 40 candles. They're right around 40, 45 candles. So go for the entry right here and you run over 40, 45 candles. So roughly it would take us about till the 18th of June to hit that target on average. Now it can go faster, it can go slower. Average is an average. That's kind of the way it works. Half the things are faster, half the things are slower. But on average, it would take about that long for this thing to go from here up to there. So we may see some price action, but eventually probably going to go pop that. And you're like, JT, how likely is that one, right? Well, right over here, 81% likely. Historical win rate is 81% right there that it hits that 160.22 target. So that's pretty cool, right? Pretty darn cool. Building this whole tool out and see. Could be a new bird flu, whatever. It could be whatever you want to call it. I don't know. We'll see. Talk about funny thing about they're talking about culling cow herds like crazy. And that could put a hurting on dairy and beef, but beef price is not showing a bullish breakout at the moment, even though we're still up here at ridiculous high prices for beef. Look at this. This was the normal price back here, kind of pre-COVID coming into it. And not sure where my clicker went there for a second. That was kind of the prices we expected for a while. We did have a high back here in 2015, but you look at the long term on beef and it's kind of not been too crazy. We did get this big correction here. So when you look at the correction and then we look at this, just normal charts, we came up right to that standard area. Now we may consolidate right here and then pop that 1272. That's $217 per 100 pounds of cow on the hoof. You lose like 50% so it's really a raw processed price of like $4 a pound, maybe a little more. You could lose 60% for bones and skin and fat. And so looking at $5 a pound, that's for all the entire cow. That's the crap meat plus the good meat. So we're looking at retail prices for just cheap ground beef, probably $6-7 if we get up there. Maybe $5.50. And craziness. That's just cheap ground beef. Steaks, golly, I charge like 5 times that a pound. So, and if we go up here, ridiculous levels. That could be like $7 a pound ground beef right there. So, yeah, wrong me. You just got to shop at the right store, man. You can go to Sam's Club and buy that they still sell that for $4 a pound. 93.7. Got to buy 10 pounds at a time, though. Anyway, all right. Or you can get that from family. Just grow a family cow. NQ, circling back, checking back. Did a little different thing today, right? Went on a different detour than I normally do. So welcome to the show. If you've never been here before, welcome. Let me know in the chat. Love to welcome new people. In queue on the daily, just hovering. Everybody hovering right there at the target. 19,150. Tag, tag, tag. Can we break out? Do we go up here? Or is this the final visit higher? I think the charts are still slightly slanted for one more pop. Probably going to see a 5,400 if we drop into the FOMC tomorrow. Might see a pop reaction. If we pop into the FOMC, we might see a drop reaction. So be careful out there. And Schwab is down for some people, but not for all. So be careful out there. Some people are in, some people out. And welcome to the new thing, right? Thinkorswim was TD Ameritrade, nice and stable. Flip it over to Schwab and piece of garbage. And be careful. It's just what you need, right? Your platform's all frozen up right when you want to do something. Morning, Terrence. Morning, Jeremy. Welcome, everybody. And look at this, Russell. Back down, tagged the roadmap line yesterday. We got to the target. Look at that. Right there. Look at that. See that right there? This likely to go retest some more. And, whoops, not what I meant to do. And if we break down below, if we get below, watch out. That's going to lead to a bigger down. Bigger down possible. See what's cooking here. Seal coming up into the resistance. That is the roadmap line. Right there. If we can get above that, probably going to go on a higher. If we reject, probably going to go lower. And lower would be lower than this lower here, possibly down to the 60s area down here. We get support at 65-ish, and then down here at 60-ish. GC, that fired off some alerts. That actually woke me up at 6:30 this morning because it fired off a 5-minute alert. That roadmap alert, I actually have it set on a, look at it, actually bounced right there. Triggered the entry at just after, it was right there, that close. And then it hit the target like 15 minutes later. But it woke me up at 6:30 when it hit the target. And then it chopped sideways, and then it busted out again for a bigger move. Bigger time frame move. But now, why would I watch the 5-minute? Well, check this out right here. Let's go to that overview. Look at it. I mean, that's pretty smoking right there. For a fast trade right there. These still last about 40 candles on average. So 5 minutes, 40, 45. We're talking like 2-hour trades, 3-hour trades. But look at profit factor, 2. I mean, it's pretty smoking right there. Pretty darn smoking. So I've been paying attention to this one because, well, it's a moneymaker. And do I issue those alerts to anybody? Not really. It's just something I built myself. So all possible to do sort of this stuff. And these are fast. Like, these are really, really fast. Like, that one was early in the morning, and I didn't take it, didn't trade it. Bitcoin finally getting the pullback. I was worried. I was concerned with the lack of breaking out here. The test that we may go on a bigger, deeper retrace. We're back down to that trend line. As long as we hold it, we can bounce. If we fold it, we're coming down to the roadmap line, going lower than what we had right here. Right there, we're coming down. We're going to get a lower low if we break below that right there. So that's that right there. That's support. We break below it, probably getting a lower low right there than what we had right there. That's your target right there. If we break below. If we don't break below, bounce off and go. That's the long and the short of it right there. This one, I really, really, really want to see this come back to the 3,200 area. Really, really, let's see. Let's go back to this one. Drew this yesterday. Yeah. I really, 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 really want to see this right here. Could get there fast. It could go faster. Like, could be there in a day or two. I want to see that 3,200 area. Actually, I'm going to set alert just above it too. Now, the thing about crypto, you can buy, if you have a crypto account, even if you have crypto enabled on like Tasty Trade, you can buy this 24/7. So if this hits 3,200, you could put a limit order to buy at 3,200. Now, the thing is, don't, Goose call you out. Don't be like Goose and buy the red. Like there's a giant red candle and it's keeping on going and it's giant red. Like don't just buy it at 3,200. Wait for it to find a little bit of like slow down at least, because you could buy at 3,200 and it keep on slicing on down and make a lower low than what we saw back here before the ETF kind of approval news. But even though we don't have any ETFs trading, so we could actually return back down into that zone right there around 2,800 on Ethereum very easily. I want to see it pop down to 3,200 and hold, because that's very bullish for going to 5,000. But it also could be part of the bigger correction that we see, and we break down below the roadmap line and get down here, possibly even down to 2,500. It's entirely possible we push on down in here right there, and that confluence of support right there. So that if we don't stop there, could cruise right on down there. All right, dollar keeps popping. We get above that zone right there. That's the line of defense right there. Line of defense. Back above that stuff right there. We get above that 618. Odds are we're going up here to 106.88 at the minimum. Possibly at 108.50 that I was looking for a year now. That would be a lower high. Even if we pop that, that's a lower high than we had back here in September 22. And it can result in a bigger down in the market on dollar. Apple, we already mentioned. Now rallying, look at that. I told you, could just be a correction before we push on out. Dun, 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 dun. Taking it all back today, even though disappointing on the AI stuff yesterday. And that's interesting. SPY breaking out to the downside. That's a different trade. Not going to talk about that one in a moment. That's too difficult for me to go through. Lily. Nice. Retracing it all, though. It was popping. Now it's dropping. Sitting in the channel. And tries to break out, but just hovering in the channel. Cruising on up. And as long as they keep making new GLP-1 stuff, like this is going to keep printing profit. And got nothing. We're going to retrace eventually. No trade for me right there. If you're in it from back here, good job. If you're not, you missed it. No FOMO. Now's not the time to go trying to get a piece. Spotify. Again, now's not the time to go trying to get a piece. It's kind of like NVIDIA too. Like NVIDIA's now's not the time to go getting your piece. All right, Apple has a limited upside. If we break out, we're going on up here to 10. Could you make a few bucks? Yeah. But it's not like you're buying Apple down here. All right? You're not buying at 120. You're buying at 200. And 210 is likely resistance, maybe 220. Law of big numbers there too. Remember, like this is the same deal as NVIDIA. Like for Apple to go up 20%, it takes a lot of money. 25%, and we're looking at $750 billion. It takes for Apple to go up 20%, 25%. So be careful. SBIT. There's the ultra short Bitcoin popping today because Bitcoin's dropping a little bit. That means BitX probably dropping a big chunk. Yep. BitX leverage Bitcoin, and this is leverage. Leverage stuff does not follow the patterns all the time, but I want to see this hold right here. If it's going to hold one of my patterns, I want to see that hold, and we bounce strongly from there. Although we could come down and hit the roadmap line, that would be okay. Hold higher than here. If we get below this, though, little concern on the current status of this pattern bouncing off of that roadmap line there. Anyway. And jumping back up, BWAQ. SPAC, untradeable. ZK, not even sure what that one is, but untradeable. Some kind of motor vehicle producer. I don't know. Boyle. I actually got out of UNG yesterday. We popped up in there. I was up 70% on my options and I bought them. And I booked them out. Now we're probably like the pattern is likely to hit this 22 price right there. And NG still cruising higher, even though natural UNG pulling back a little bit. This one's probably cruising on up. Probably going to go up here to this 360 area right up there. Although on a breakout like that, we could cruise up, retest, just like on Bitcoin's chart, retest that breakout before we go higher. MSTR, watch out for the roadmap line retrace. Man, come on, move. Just move. No. Darn it. Put it back over here. You know, probably going to come back down to the roadmap line. Been saying that for a while. And we haven't really gone higher, so this was a resistance zone. Be careful. MSTR is not leveraged Bitcoin, even though people play it that way. ASML coming down a little bit, failed to break out. The chart says we're probably going to pop it on up to the 1100 area. Coin, really want to see this pop back down to the roadmap line, but at this point, just looks like a little consolidation right in here. Just remove all the extra stuff I've drawn on here 900 times. So this little channel right here, we just went back to the bottom of the channel. Now we break out. It's probably indicative that we're coming on down to at least there. But I mean, it's not, it's kind of done the pattern on the 4-hour chart. I think it is 4-hour roadmap bounce, right? Draw. Come on. There it is. Yeah, 4-hour roadmap bounce. That kind of tips the odds. We're going to hit that 295 area right there. And you may be like, JT, where's statistics? Not great. 50-50 on the history of doing roadmap bounces. Coin doesn't have a long history, so can't show you a lot of banging stuff there. But hey, the pattern across, I've already done 29,000 daily chart tests on tickers through the letter K. 29,000 back test trades, A through K, pulling all the tickers that move more than 25 cents a day. So that's 29,000 trades that I've back tested. 74% of the time. Doesn't matter the ticker, doesn't matter the setup, doesn't matter anything. 74% of the time this pattern sets up, it goes to that target. That's pretty strong. 29,000 trades. And I'm not done yet. I'm going to keep going. Like I've still got half the tickers to go. That's 1,800 tickers, almost 1,900 tickers in that list. 29,000 trades. Well, that looks pretty horrible. That's why I always warn about the roadmap line from the bottom. Right there, right down. The roadmap pattern doesn't go short. It only goes long only, because it's easy to buy shares. And, well, that could be supports, but we could go down much lower. How much lower? JT, how much lower? Support down here at 270, so it's a under $10 stock, so it may not follow the pattern, but easily could go back down where we consolidated right there for almost a year. CONL, that's just leverage coin. Be careful on leverage. Leverage cuts both ways, and if coin pulls back, oh, look at that, turn down right at the 618 resistance. Didn't trigger the long on Connell yet. CXW. Whew. That's why when they're hanging out up here, I haven't been to the roadmap line in a long time. I tell you to be careful. Sheesh. Sheesh. BitX, we already mentioned. Probably going to come back to the support zone there. STNG, probably coming back to the roadmap line. Sooner or later. I think that had all. Was that on this list? STNG. Nope. Which one was it? STNG. One of those two had a trade in the not too distant past. And I'll have to go look in Discord. One of those had a trade on STNG. Maybe it already, I bet it already failed. I bet that was it. Yeah. Right there. Failed. Dun, dun, dun. They don't always work. BITU. That's Ultra Bitcoin. For the love of everything, be careful playing leveraged Bitcoin. So you take the most volatile asset in the world, Bitcoin, crypto. You know, that's BitX, BitU. And then you leverage it up with Ultra, and you get ripped on the upside. And I mean, be careful. Cuts both ways. Very, very viciously. NVO. There's some more. That stopped out on the 1 hour and the 30 minute. Cool. Love it when they fail. I don't like trades that don't work. ARKB. That's Bitcoin. It's just hovering. That's just the Bitcoin chart, just divided by 1,000. LABU. That's biotech. Bouncing off the trend line. Watch out for a drop. Support down here. Support right there. Target up there. Coin flip in between. Do we pop or do we drop? If we get above this, we could go higher. If we get below this, we could go much lower. Simple as that. And there's no high probability anything when you're looking at leveraged biotech in a kind of a crap pattern. It's pretty much a dumpster fire pattern. And if I was just looking at this and not already biased against biotech and leverage, probably going lower would be my guess. ASO, Academy Sports and Outdoors, potentially doing a potentially doing a measured bounce setup here. It can mess around here for a while before it actually bounces and breaks out. This roadmap line is the upside resistance right now. If we can break out above it, potential to go up here to 107, 130 possibly. KOLD, like I talked about natural gas already, that's ultra short. That's leveraged short natural gas. So natural gas popping, this thing is dropping. Dropping. And it does reverse splits occasionally. And it does regular splits occasionally. So that's reverse. That's reverse. And that was a regular. But this one, historically, a big decliner. Be careful out there. FBTC. The natural gas does have a floor. So that's the thing. Like things that have a floor. Think about it. Things that have a floor, like VIX, natural gas, oil, gold. If you trade one of the instruments that tries to track those, on the whole, they're going to kind of decline. So FBTC just kind of chunking. Bitcoin, GBTC, TTE. Coming back to the roadmap line. Can we do another bounce? Last time that was pretty darn sweet. Look at that bounce right there. Everybody see it? That high right there. That low right there. We've retraced. Popped above the 618 level right in there. Right up to the targets. And now we're doing it all over again. That high. Whoop. that high. Hopefully this low at the roadmap line. If we bounce, break above the 618, target's up there, right there, TTE, and that one works out pretty banging right there. If we can get the bounce and actually go. BHP. Oh, what a nasty chart. Well, we didn't do that. But it looks like we certainly did doing this. And extension target down here at 40. That would be where I expect us to go down here. Eventually. All right, bias for the day. Not really. I don't really have much bias at all right now. It's kind of like I said, if we drop into the FOMC tomorrow, we get a big correction today. Probably going to pop tomorrow if we actually turn this around and grind higher. Or even if we just hover, we might get a big drop. I don't know. We might get some volatility on... Might get some volatility. Yeah, it seems like you've seen this pattern before. Yeah, maybe you've seen this. Maybe you've seen it a time or two. Anyway, caution. Like that's at the resistance. All right. The higher likelihood right now is for a drop. We're not at support. We're at resistance. Looking down the face of CPI, PPI, FOMC, consumer sentiment. It's going to be a rock and roller of a week, and the market's kind of fully cooked. All right, so be careful. Now, crazy can get crazier. We can go on higher, but just think about how much money. Just think about how much money it takes. So, yes, TOS is down. Schwab is having problems. It's not everybody, but it is pretty widespread, from what I understand. I don't use Schwab. I use like 12 different brokers. I have a Thinkorswim account. I have a Tasty Trade account. I have a E-Trade account. I have an Inrush Brokers account. I have a Robinhood account. I have a Webull account. I have you name it. I probably have an account. I don't have a Fidelity account though. Funny enough, don't use Fidelity. So, all right, everybody, make sure you set your alarm. 30 minutes of awesome coming up at 5 p.m. Eastern. I will take your requests for at least 30 minutes. Make sure that if anything I said today was beneficial, helpful, give me a thumbs up, share with a friend, and make sure you come back and see me this evening. Have a great day, everybody.